Hi, thank you for joining me for Motivational Monday. Today I want to talk about the importance of going to classes and how much that can motivate you as not only a group fitness instructor but a manager as well. So I'll actually start on the management side and how I believe going to classes can really be motivating as a manager. First of all, it can really be eye opener on exactly how excited you are to have a new instructor or someone who's been there for a long time or been teaching you for you for a long time, because you just are so grateful for the abilities that they have to teach classes for you as a manager and for the facility that you work for. I find it motivational for me because I look around the room, and no matter what kind of complaints I might be getting about other classes or little equipment things or little studio things, or things aren't working in one of the studios with a microphone, or there's small little things that can start to really take over your mindset as a manager. Going to classes, you can't help but look around and see all of the amazing people getting fitter and happier and healthier and feeling great about their bodies and just enjoying class. So I find it motivating as a manager, and I also find that it's a must as a manager, because when we do receive feedback about that instructor, if you've never been to their class or if you don't go to their class on a regular basis, then you won't really have much ammo or information when you receive some feedback about them. So whether it's amazing, great feedback, we get that all the time, and sometimes I get amazing, great feedback about instructors who I still feel like they have a lot more to work on. So if someone sends me a comment card or a explanation of a class that is, this person's the most amazing instructor on the face of the planet Earth, then I need to make sure that I'm going to their class to kind of see if that's really true. And maybe they can be assisting our other instructors to become the amazing instructors as well. But I don't always find that, and a lot of the time I wonder if those people have even gone to anyone else's class. So they may enjoy that instructor's class because it's the only one they've gone to. As far as negative feedback, it's really good to have gone to someone's class so that they know you've been to their class, and you're not just providing feedback to them if you are bringing it up to them in person, preferably, about what you have heard or what you've noticed in their class. Hopefully you're explaining it to them from a place of knowledge and a place of experiencing their class before. So I think it's a must for managers to go to classes, not only for their own benefit and feeling better about what they do and what they're providing to the club and the community, but also for the ability to have more knowledge on exactly what feedback is coming in. And then as an instructor, there are 3 huge reasons I feel like going to other instructors' classes are huge to benefit you as an instructor. So managers, hopefully you're teaching classes as well, so you'll benefit from these 3 benefits as well. The first thing I find that is so beneficial about going to classes is the fact that you're hearing different cueing techniques from a different perspective and a different person in general. So hearing it from someone in the room, and then you can also look around the room and take just kind of a mental note of who really understood that cue and who's still having trouble. So I really enjoy hearing different ways of phrasing different cues. Even though I've heard it a million times, an instructor might find a way to bring it up a little differently. So I love hearing different cues, and the different techniques someone uses for their cueing. And then the second really important thing that I feel like going to classes helps you take away from is the experience of different exercises on your body. So not only do you see new exercises that another instructor might have come up with, but you get to feel them and actually experience them while you're taking class. And then the last most important thing I feel, they're all most important, that you benefit from by taking another instructor's class is the ability to experience a completely different class experience from what you may be teaching. So even though it's the same class, it shouldn't be completely different in the aspect of the format. But when I enjoy teaching a class we call circuit training here, where we're using the cardio equipment and then we're on the floor for strength training. And I went to a class recently where there was a point in class where the instructor actually handed out small towels, which we provide throughout the club, but he had collected small towels so that he could give them to the participants toward the end of class. They had a fresh towel. It was just an added touch that was something I can easily add into my own classes. Another thing he did is that he used an actual timer app on his phone, or I think not his phone, his iPad or some sort of a tablet, and had it in the front of the room. If you have a stopwatch as a studio, then that's great. But there were a few times where I really enjoyed using that. He went on rep-based exercises, and he had a combination of time-based exercises, which I enjoyed doing both of them in classes. So I felt like he was still able to cue us and keep us motivated and excited for the certain amount of time that he did have us doing exercises. But I loved that timer app because it helped me kind of look over at what was happening on the app, so I could know what to expect when the next exercise was coming, how many rounds we had, and everything. And then you'll also notice in other classes that maybe an instructor teaches with different music and you find that you really enjoy it. So after class, it gives you the opportunity to ask them, hey, can you share the third to the last song to me, or can you explain to me where you get your music, or how we can kind of correspond that way. And then finally, another thing I find that I experience in another class that creates a different experience that is something I can easily provide in my own classes is a different way of introducing the class, or kind of that grand finale of the class. So I love seeing different introductions from different instructors where they're welcoming participants in different ways. Maybe they do more one-on-one and then they bring themselves to the stage or the front of the room. I love it when that happens. Maybe at the end of class they finish with that big breath. A lot of us do that. They finish with a clap, or they finish with a mindful kind of quote or saying of the day. So I'm always taking something away as a participant, as a manager, and just as a general exercise participant in classes. I find that I benefit so much as an instructor. I don't think I would be as good of an instructor as I am today if I hadn't learned and gone to as many classes as I have over the years. So I'm so appreciative of that. I'm so fortunate as a manager to be able to do that all the time, but I've also made the time. There have been days where I haven't felt like going to a class because I'm just tired, but I think it's just so beneficial and really makes a difference in the group fitness department. The more those instructors can be going to classes and the more you can learn from other instructors, the better.